Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. And I want to say Shalom to Aknakwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently, coming at you once again with another lesson. And this one's titled, The End is Coming, and Most Can't See It. Hashtag blinded, hashtag lost. All right? And this was, in a way, kind of inspired by the Apostle Gabar. I was watching a lesson that he made earlier. I can't necessarily remember the name of it, but it had to do with nuclear destruction. I believe it was scriptures on the nuclear missile, or scriptures about nuclear missiles, or something along those lines. You can go and look it up, and it's in his recent videos. And he was talking about, Hiroshima, or Hiroshima, however you want to pronounce it, and its destruction, and the differences between an atom bomb and a nuclear bomb. Now, when I heard it, and I said, aren't an atom bomb and a nuclear bomb the same? And because I thought, an atom bomb was an atomic bomb, and a nuclear bomb, was like the same thing. It's like splitting a thing. But I actually learned that no, they're actually two completely different things, like hydrogen bomb and then a nuclear thermonuclear a bomb. I didn't know that. I had no idea. So I learned something spiritual, and I learned something scientific. I didn't know about that. But so kind of in the same vein in that, because he mentioned people about the end, and of course nuclear destruction. And I was just thinking, the end is coming, and it's pretty apparent. But for like the thing, you just got to think about it in a thoughtful manner, for lack of a better word. Like, for example, I'm sitting in this drive-thru right now, and none of these people that are in this drive-thru right now know that this whole shit's going to be blown to smithereens. Okay? When you go into a store, think about it. All right? When you go into a store, you're walking around Walmart, just think that pretty more than likely no one in there knows. All right? There could be someone that knows maybe a little. There might be someone that, you on the odd chance you encounter, someone, not everyone, people look at me, they wouldn't think I'm a Hebrew Israelite, so you don't know who it is walking around, but there's less of us than there are, people out there that are bugged out and in the world. So just think, most of these people that you see, they don't know that the end is coming, right? And like the title of the lesson, the end is coming and most can't see, blinded and lost. They're either Jake that are blinded, or they're Edomites, and they can't really see it. No, stop being, so negative. And, they on the Cold War, they thought it was going to be a nuclear threat. And before that, in the World War II or wherever, they thought there was going to be more threats. And then after that, they thought there was going to be a threat. And we thought there was going to be a nuclear threat in Iran. There's not going to be no nuclear threats, right? That's what people say. They said there's not going to be a nuclear war because everybody knows it would end to the end of civilization. So no one's going to touch them. They're there for threat, right? There's people that talk like that. Or they'll say, they'd never be able to hit the United States because our infrastructure is too strong. All right, we can intercept nuclear missiles. Sure. The other thing that you don't realize is that a lot of the equipment that's being brought in this country is just haphazardly being brought in this company. For example, I saw a news report that was talking about, I think it was Amsterdam. I believe it was Amsterdam. Their buses that they drive, they turn down buses because they found Chinese kill switches within them, all right? Because the buses were Chinese made, and they found kill switches. And a kill switch is basically, if you wanted to, it could remotely be turned off, remotely driven, or locked out, all right? You could remotely lock the doors and keep everybody on there, and you wouldn't even be able to get out, all right? Anything that you have on board, whether it be a GPS or a heater or an AC or a brake or a gas pedal, they could remotely trigger those things. So imagine if they remotely sped it up, had you crash into a wall, locked all the doors, turned the heater on and to the max, and had you stuck in there. Okay? And people were talking about how the United States isn't checking for these kill switches. Okay? So there's a lot of shit. And where does a lot of the technology come from? Okay? China and Japan. All right? China, Japan, primarily. It might have some stuff from Vietnam, but not a lot of tech. Maybe minor tech, but not really like computers. But think about that. Think about the repercussions that could potentially arise from that. they got to use, computer and computer parts for, launch terminals and interceptions and all these different, military equipment. They've got to be using, microchips of some variety. And the United States is not the major manufacturer of microchips, okay? Even though they're going to use them for the mark of the beast, right? The microchips, there was a microchip shortage in 2020, 2022, and I think it's because something that had to do with Japan. A lot of the microchips come out of Japan. And a microchip or a microcontroller, all right, for things like automated AA, all right, anti-aircraft or AT, anti-tank weaponry, sometimes those have computer systems in them, all right, for auto-targeting systems and shit like that, auto-lock-on, right? They can manually, there's a quote-unquote manual override, but a lot of those can, automatically do stuff like that. But what if there's a kill switch, right? What if they hid the kill switch so deep you would never be able to find it, all right, even with your American scientists. And mind you, American scientists aren't the best. That's why they had to have Project Paperclip. I believe it was Project Paperclip after the Second World War to, incorporate and assimilate all of the Nazi scientists, all right, because these German scientists were, top of the game, okay? The American Edomites are on a very small level. But, who's to say they don't have something hidden like that? And the American scientists wouldn't be able to, tell anything about it, right? They wouldn't be able to know. And there's nothing they could really do about it. And they could have a kill switch or a manual override, not your manual override, but their manual override, where they can just do whatever they want to your system. Okay, shut it down, all right? Have it start firing on your people, all right? Or your systems. And mind you, America does not have a full-on system like everybody. Well, we have the Star Wars system. We don't have the Star Wars system, guys. We don't. Okay, and I don't care. I say we as people that are living here, not as we as Americans. We don't have one here. There's a giant machine that protects us. No, that was proposed. Was it proposed by Reagan? It was proposed by someone, and it was never made. Okay, it was never made. You hear all these we got the Star Wars system. We can intercept. It was never made. That was never made. Okay, now there are certain systems that can intercept certain missiles. Okay, but they can't there's only a certain amount they can accept. All right, for example, I always go back to the game of Fallout, and the system, Mr. House, all right, in Fallout New Vegas, the guy that kind of really saved Vegas from being completely destroyed. He said he was able to intercept I can't remember, 70, he was able to intercept 95% of the missiles. But the rest of them, completely devastated the area. Not the Strip, but the whole rest of the area, So that shows you, and that's just a game. It is just a game, but it shows you that, say if you had someone launch 100 missiles, and you were able to intercept 90, that's still fucking 10 missiles, nuclear atomic bombs, all right, or thermonuclear bombs that are blowing up all over the damn place. That's a lot, all right? That's a lot. Less than 100. All right, and these systems aren't going to work like that, all right, because Yahweh Shemi Shah is not going to have them work like that. All right, the systems are going to go offline, something wrong is going to happen, it's not going to be able to get them all, or these other countries are going to have infrastructure where the shit won't even be able to detect that bombs have been launched, okay? And even, the only thing that America really has is a retaliation system, all right? They do have a system that if they detect bombs, they auto-launch, all right? They auto-launch in retaliation, all right? It's called the... First strike? No. Second? No. Second strike? First strike? Something strike. All right, if a brother knows and they happen to be on the page, they can drop it down below. It's something strike, I believe. It's like a first strike or a second strike system or whatever they call it. Final strike, I think they call it. And it'll auto-launch. Boom, 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 and retaliate. It's basically a protocol that if, we're destroyed, at least we're going to get our lick back. Right, that's what they made. So, we're going out. At least we're gonna get these all out. But the only other country other than America, than the United States, I should say, that's gonna be completely destroyed, is Israel. Okay, Germany's not gonna be destroyed by a nuclear missile. Okay, so it's just not factual. And the end is coming, and these people can't see it. All right, they don't know. They can't tell. not only by just factual matter of like reading the news and studying and understand, the things that are going on in the commotions, but primarily the way you tell is through Scripture. All right, but these people also, they're not going to know because they hate the Lord. All right, they hate the Bible. They hate anything that has to do with religion. All right, they hate everything. Okay, so they're not going to be able to know. And Jake, they're over in the Spirit of Jesus Christ, and the Spirit of Jesus Christ is the same spirit of unknowing. All right, if you're calling on Jesus Christ, you don't know the name. All right, and if you don't know the name, then you don't know how much other things, everything. You don't know anything. If you don't know the names of the Father and the Son, you don't know anything else. All right, that shuts down everything else. Okay, just bear with me 1 minute. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and hit 2nd Esdras 9:1, and it reads, He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. So let's diligently means being on it. All right, diligently, let's define diligent, because I'm back here in the Logos Bible, which is usually horrible, but we're using it. So diligently, word info, diligent, come on. Diligent, hearkening to, it says, Yahushua, an example of, required by Yahweh in seeking him. Hearkening to him, striving after him, obeying him. Let's get it in the System Dictionary, though. Diligent, in a way that shows care and consciousness in one's work or duties. Okay, so, and measure, all right, that doesn't need to be defined. That it's, if you've been in the kitchen, you've measured things. All right, you need to see how close are we measuring? How close is it? From what measurement? Are we 3 inches from destruction, or are we 10? Or feet, or different measurement systems. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the Highest will begin to visit the world which he made. How is he going to visit it? With hugs, with kisses, with handshakes? Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So there's going to be earthquakes on Arise. Okay, and you can go and look up Earthquake Tracker, and you can see that, or you can even go to Ask ChatGPT. You can go and ask them and say, has there been more earthquakes as we get through the years, in the last 20 years than there was before? All right, you can ask questions like that, or you can go and see. There's earthquakes constantly. There's earthquakes going on in the world right now, constantly. So it says, when there, and you say, well, that always there shouldn't be earthquakes just happening constantly. That's not a natural state. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, in prophecy. But you didn't want to listen to him, you didn't want to hearken to him, and you didn't care, and you couldn't see it. It says in verse 5, for like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Now, what does the word manifest mean? We can go and get the word info here, and it means... I won't give it to us, but it manifest means it's going to happen. All right, it's on its way. Okay, so, but nobody can see it. Okay, nobody can see it. Again, all throughout the scripture, you'll see this term mentioned: signs, but nobody can see the sign. Okay, if you can't see the sign, well, how are you supposed to know what time you're in? Let's get Luke 21 and 25. Okay, and bear with it, because it's doing whatever the fuck it likes to do. One minute. See, this is why I hate this app. This app fucking sucks. Give me a minute. Yeah, see, they're doing the whole inline search for free. They started charging for everything, and it is what they started doing. Like a bunch of fucking greedy assholes. You're not supposed to charge for the truth. Barrow, man, we'll try to make it work. If not, I'm just going to switch off of it. This is fucking ridiculous. Anyway. Yeah, nah, I'm just going to uninstall that. Because it's just awful. Because boom, I can get it just like this. Luke 21 and 25, it says, and this is red letter, Yahushua speaking, mind you. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. And we can go and get to the next verse that says, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Now this is getting, this is really closer to the end, dealing with the end actually coming. But you can see distress of nations. Now let me go actually and get Luke 21 and 25. I can open it up in the Bible Gateway, the now banned in the UK Bible Gateway. All right, Luke 21 and 25. And we can go and get it in the Good News Translation and see what it says. It says, there shall be strange things happening to the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the earth. Whole countries will be in despair, afraid of the roar of the sea and the raging tides. It's all right. I do like how it said, on earth, whole countries will be in despair. You don't just see it in America right now. Everywhere is kind of, feeling this, the enshittification, for lack of a better word, of the whole world. It's not just the United States. Everybody likes to, just pass the blame on just the United States and say, and it strikes as a shithole. Yeah, it is a shithole, but England's not doing so hot either, right? Or they'll be like, United States of America doing very terrible. I'm like, Russia's in shambles, all right? You're a country in poverty for the most, all right? For the most part. Are you better than America? Yeah. But I mean, I'd hope I'm better than a fucking turd, right? I'd hope if someone said, hey man, you're better than that fucking stupid ass retard down the street that smells like shit and, and that pisses all over himself. I'd say, gee, thanks. I'm sure glad I'm better, I mean, I sure hope I'm better than the fucking retard that's pissing and shitting himself, right? Like, goddamn. You're a nicer guy than that guy over there that punches everybody in the fucking nose when he walks by. Oh, really? I'm nicer than that guy? Thanks for letting me know. Right? That's low-hanging fruit, all right? We're better than America. Yeah, of course. That's not really anything to boast and brag about. Pretty much everywhere is, right? So, but you keep on doing that, and your infrastructure's crumbling away, right? You're crumbling away. These countries are not doing hot, man. Not doing hot. Everyone's trying to war with each other. Everyone's having these issues. Everyone's having poverty. The citizens are getting pissed off. All the citizens are complaining of unjust government. Other than maybe like New Zealand, right? I bet they got some shit going on that people are probably complaining about, right? They just don't complain that much. So, that's the state that the world's in. Is that, there's uproars of the people. All right, the stress of nations. People are not happy. All right, the state of the world is not happy. It's not just America. Okay, don't think it's just here. All right, it's everywhere that people are starting to feel it. All right, police are getting. See, that's the thing. Everyone has said, your police in America are a little bit crazy. All right, yeah, they're crazy and they're bad. But now look at it. Now a lot of these countries police are beating their citizens down. Okay, you're so focused on America, you didn't realize that it was starting to happen in your country too. All right, you got to realize this is a whole change for the world. Yeah, Babylon's going to be completely destroyed, but the Lord's not just going to allow you guys to just Babylon's going to be destroyed, and then the Edomites and other countries are going to. No, you're going to be taken out of power too, right? Your country are going to be in shambles too. This is a shutdown of the whole world, man. This is a shutdown of the whole world. This is a power move by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to take out all the kings of the world and all the kings of the earth, all right, and replace them with him and his son, all right, and of course, the judges under that, all right, and then us that are going to rule under, all right, a power structure, a hierarchy. So, you're Denmark can't stay. That's got to go away. All right, China can't stay. That's got to go away. It's all got to go away to make way for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. So, and you're always talking about this new world order. Oh, we're going to do this new world order. Esau's new world orders and all this. Well, guess who's going to have a better new world order? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And the new world order is going to be that you're going to be on the bottom and Jacob is going to be on the top. All right. And all the wickedness from the world is going to cease and stop. All right. At least at the hands of Jacob. We're going to have to train the heathens, all right, to not do certain things. But on a rampant scale, the world's not going to be wicked anymore. It's not going to be in the hands of the wicked. It's not going to be in control and power by the wicked. All right, there's not going to be Edomites' faces on the money. All right, there's not going to be people that are, there's not going to be a ghetto in heaven. All right, heaven is a ghetto or any of that shit. There's not going to be none of that. Okay, it's going to be ruled in righteousness. All right, by true authority. All right, and by a man and his son and the men under him that know how to rule. All right, they're going to be led by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to know how to rightfully rule. Okay, so that's the true new world order, not yours, Esau. All right, a new world order. You're going to have a new world, and it's going to be an order that brings it forth. Well, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has one. All right, there's going to be a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth. Right, wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's the new world. All right, and the order is that it's going to happen. All right, you can't, no ifs, and a but. The order is, by order of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, nuclear missiles are going to rain down and destroy this place, all right, and bring in that new world. That's the true new world order, not you're going to chip people and they're going to be under control forever and ever and ever, and you're going to have all the money and they're not going to have any money, and they'll all this and that Esau wants to do with their wickedness. That's not going to work. Your new world order is not going to work, It's not going to work. So, it's a shit plan, really, too, by the way, because at the end of the day, once all these people are starving and dying and all this shit, who are you going to have to serve you? You fucking retard? Fuck. All these people, well, we're going to do it like this, and this is how it's going to work. Well, no one's going to work for you, you fucking dumbass. They're all going to be dead or sickly, okay? Because you're not going to give them health care. You're not going to do any of this type of shit. So they're going to be sick, okay? They're going to be sick. Okay? And if they're not sick, they're going to be dying. And people are going to be in such low morale. You know what they're going to do? They're going to fucking kill themselves, Alright? So it's not going to work. Your new world order is not going to work. Any fucking dumbass could have told you that. Alright? It's not going to work. Okay? Even if you had time to do it, it wouldn't work. Okay? There'd eventually be, say there was a situation where Yahweh Bashem Yahushai was never coming back, didn't exist or whatever, and you got your chance to do this, your fantasy, right? Your fantasy. And then you do realize that people would eventually say, fuck this, and overthrow you, right? If Yahweh Bashem Yahushai wasn't putting a spirit of complacence on people to stay put because his prophecies have to go forth, and he didn't exist, all right, and the world was just free reign to do whatever you want, people would overthrow you, You would have been overthrown years ago. Okay, because there's more of us than there is you. All right, but the only reason is that hasn't happened is because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai does exist. He does have a law. He does have a way things need to go. All right, and he's put a spirit of complacence on people so they can be complacent with the prophecies that are going to happen, so they can come about and it can happen the way the Lord wants it to happen. Okay, but even in your perfect society where the Lord doesn't exist, your fucking plan wouldn't work. It would not work because you're dumb and you don't know how to do shit. It always backfires, and well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Because you're a terrible ruler. You're bad at it. You're bad at it. 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. All right, why? Okay, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous. Lovers of their own self. That's that haughty spirit. All right, covetous, wanting more and more and more and more, never being satisfied. Boasters, That goes more into pride. All right, really, lovers of themselves, boasters, and proud, all are in a similar vein. But it says covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, people that are talking negatively about Yahweh Shem Yahushai, disobedient to parents, not only to parents, all right, the Heavenly Father as well. He's likened unto a parent, and the people are being disobedient to him. Unthankful and unholy. Unholy means not separate. They're being mixed into this punch bowl, all right, of wickedness, all right, unthankful. They don't care for shit. It says without natural affection, homosexuals, all right, truce breakers, liars, so, I'm gonna do this, and then they break it. False accusers, a false witness. Oh, this person did this, see, it's a liar. Incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. They hate good, love evil. It says traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than the lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh. That's the state of the world. They'd rather do what they want to do. They don't want to do what the Lord wants them to do. It says having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Okay? So that's the state of the world. That's how people are. Right? That's just how people are. And I have Matthew 24 listed here because if you go and get it, we're not going to read all of it because it's a long chapter and it deserves its own breakdown, but we'll read the first 3. It says, Matthew 24:1 says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, and this was a warning really, or likened unto a revelation really, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. He said, see all these things? All these things are going to be destroyed in the times coming. In verse 3, it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Now notice, all right, that Yahushua, when he answered, we can say right here, verse 4, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear wars, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So we could continue going on, but all those things are the beginning of sorrows. Notice that he didn't say that, at 7 p.m. on August 7th, all right, there's going to be 77 birds in the skies, and you see 7 men standing by, and when that happens, that's how the end's going to come. No, all right, he didn't say it like that. He gave you signs that are, as some people would say, oh, they're loose. Those are loose signs. Those could happen whenever. No, not in all. Yeah, there's been wars and rumors of wars in the past, but wars and rumors of wars doesn't mean, oh, it just happened, right? No. It means to a full extent, there's going to be lots of wars. There's going to be lots of rumors of wars. There's going to be lots of uproars. People are going to be in... And 2025 is... Look, I've been here for, about 30 years of my life, okay? And, about 30... I'm around 30 years old. I'm not going to give my exact age. Not because I don't trust the brothers and sisters, but Esau, I'm sure they got it all anyway. But I'm in the 30-ish category, right? Give or take a few years. And it has not been this bad, okay? The apostles are much older than me. They've been teaching for the whole amount of time that I've been on this earth, okay? And they know that things have gotten worse. If you don't think things have gotten worse than they've ever been, why do you think they're trying to make America great again? Because it's shit. It's been bad since about like the late 1940s, 1950s is when it really started going to hell. So, yeah, man. It's not good. It's not good. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it's not good. If you think now's better than about 2004, all right, then you're wrong. And if you think 2004 is better than 1980, you're wrong. And if you think 1980 was better than 1970, and if you think 1970 was better than 1960, you could keep on going. All right, sure, the early 2000s had a lot of, that was the last hurrah for America. The last, chill vibes and hanging out and getting together. And you could even see in the movie, hey, Todd, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good, man. We want to go have some fun at this party. Now it's not like that. Now it's like, oh, I'm depressed and I've been cutting myself. And I've been thinking about suicide lately. It's the whole narrative has changed, man. The whole narrative has changed. Okay, because the Lord's taken the spirit of mirth and happiness off of this place, and people are trying to still have that mirth. It's just not going that well. Not going that well, right? It's hard to be happy in a place of misery. Okay, so let's get Matthew 16:1-3, and then we're gonna go ahead and close out. So verse 1 says, and this shows you about the signs. You need to watch out for these signs, man. It says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. They were wanting a sign from, Yahushua. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. And that same way in verse 4 is really like what's happened, a wicked and adulterous generation. That's why the signs have not been revealed unto these people, because really the truth has not been revealed unto these people, because they're either not Jakes or not Israelites, or if they are Israelites, they're spiritual tares. They're separated from Yahushua, and they hate him. All right, a lot of these people, a lot of these Jakes that don't like this truth were the same people saying, crucify him, crucify him. A lot of these same people were the ones that were saying, let all my sins come down upon my basically my seed line. A lot of these ones were the same ones, on the Exodus being, hating what happened to them. They'd much rather have been back in Egypt. All right, they despised that they were saved, really. They much rather dwell under their oppressors, right? A lot of these Jakes are these same people out here. So just because they're an Israelite, that don't mean you get a free pass, right? Now, in the kingdom, yeah, you'll be restored to your former glory, but you're going to have to be destroyed here with your enemies that you so love, right? So, yeah, man, like Yahushua said, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red, and in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. So, you can tell, you can tell the weather. All right, you can tell, like right now, I see that it's not looking like we're going to get any rain today. It's nice and blue outside. Looks good. We actually got a nice little bit of, there was like some type of rocket or something going on up there. I was curious. I was like, what is that? But a nice blue sky. It's not going to, I would say it's more than likely not going to rain. Okay, now you people can do that saying like what I did, but you can't discern the signs of the time. All right, we in this truth, we can tell you, it doesn't look like it's going to rain, but it does look like destruction is near. All right, but you can't do that. The end is coming and most can't see. Why? Because you're blinded and lost. So that's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes. It's what was I going to say? It's what was I going to say? Is in them is what? The prophecy of Isaiah, that they shall see and not perceive, and hear but not understand. That's what's happened to you. You're lost. You've been blinded, right? So that's a lesson. A lot of people are going to be caught off guard, man, and it's not going to be good for you. But hey, there's nothing you can do about it. So enjoy it while you got it. Go out and buy a lottery ticket. All right, get a prostitute or two. All right, I know you Edomites love cocaine, so I'm sure you'll do that. I'm not going to recommend you do it, but, it doesn't really matter if you do it, because, you're wicked as hell anyway. Kill a couple people or something, I'm sure, get your rocks off. And, that's what you can do right now, because there's nothing you can do to stop it. So, bye-bye, hasta la vista, sayonara, all right? But yeah, that's a lesson. We're going to close out there. Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. I want to say shalom to your brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We are almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.